Hi, this is class Math 025. I am here to kind of help you get started and to know where things are. My name is Miss Summerlin. I'm the instructor for the class. This is an online class. It will be all online. You won't come in and see me at all unless you just want to. And if you do, that's okay. This is my office. This is room 618 in Horace Sisk. If you email me, this is probably where I'll be reading your emails. That's okay too. I could be reading them at the house. I could be here. If you text me, this is probably where I'll be reading your texts. If you call me, this is definitely where I'll be receiving the phone call. So you need to make sure that if you do call me, that you call me during office hours. Otherwise, I probably won't get the call until the office hours. So that being said, there are some things that some people don't understand about online classes that really need to be walked through, especially this online class because it runs kind of different. This online class is a Math 025 class, which means it's not a regular curriculum level class. So starting off, you're expected to get a C or higher in order to pass the class. Getting a D is not enough. You have to make a 70 or higher in order to pass the class. That's not hard in this class. It's not a very difficult class. What is difficult is making sure we can find the spot where you missed the information when you were younger. So all this information that we're going to be going over in this class is all stuff you've probably seen before at some point in time. And all stuff that when you saw it before at some point in time, you might have struggled with it, and that's okay. Or you might not have struggled with it, and that's okay. But you might have been absent that day and you just missed it. And that's okay because we can fill in that blank. And now that we've filled in that blank, all of a sudden, everything that comes after it, it's going to make so much more sense. And now that it makes so much more sense, you'll be able to breeze right on through the other stuff. So this is kind of the class where we fill in all those gaps that you got when you were in high school or middle school because something went awry. So we want to take care of those gaps. And once we take care of them, then they'll be fixed. But we've got to find them. And in order to find them, we're going to have to do a little bit of work. So it's a different kind of class in that everybody's got to do different work to figure out what their different gap is. Because your gap is going to be different from somebody else's gap. And I've got to do the same thing for everybody to make sure we catch all of everybody's gaps. Does that kind of make sense? So in the process of doing all that, we're going to have to make sure we get everybody taken care of all at the same time. In order to do that, we have some clear things set aside in this class. That's why it's a different kind of class. We have some clear things set aside in this class to kind of help you and to help you help yourself in this class so that you can kind of go at your pace and make sure that you catch all those little gaps and fill them in as best as possible. And don't worry, we're not going to make you fill them in with concentrating really hard and reading a whole bunch of material because I don't have time for that. I don't know about you, but I'm not up for that. There are tools now, and we would rather you use those tools. I'm not up for you spending a whole heap of time trying to figure out how to do it when you were taught how to do it in elementary school. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There are easier ways now. So we're going to go with the easier ways and take care of things in the easiest way possible. We're not trying to make you drudge up all sorts of past histories. No. No. There are easier ways. We're going to have you do it the easiest way possible because that's what I'm about. The easiest way possible that's going to work for you in the future. Because if it's not going to work for you in the future, there's no need in doing it. So that's kind of the way things are going to roll. So there are some learning objectives. This is picking up in your Canvas site exactly below where the video that you just started is. So this is in your Canvas site. exactly below where the video is. The learning objectives are right here. That's all the things we have to learn. There's a little outline. You can look at it if you want to. You don't have to. Moving on down, you have the expectations that you're expected to do. There's homework activities and quizzes. They count for 65% of your grade. There's a midterm exam you have to do. That's 15% of your grade. And then there's a final exam that you have to do, and that's 20% of your grade. Because you were in an online class, the midterm and final exam need to be done on Respondus unless you plan on coming in and taking them in a face-to-face lab. If that's the case and you're going to come in on campus and take them in a face-to-face lab, then you're going to need to respond to the prompts that are given that'll say you need to do it in a face-to-face lab. I'll show you where all that is in a minute. So the grading scheme, just like I mentioned below, you're expected to make an A, a B, or a C in this class. Anything below a C will mean that you get an F. Okay, moving on. So I'm going to look at the modules because that's a little bit faster. We were in this part right here looking at the course overview. If you look right below that, the very next thing is the schedule. This tells you exactly what you should be doing. This is the one that I would print out if I were you. You're in an online class. You're expected to stay on task all the time because you are in an online class. This is one of the biggest problems that online students have. They cannot keep to the timetable that's expected. They don't know when things are due. So the easiest way to tackle this is to go ahead and print out this page. So this is the 16-week calendar for your class. If you print this out, then you'll know when all the homeworks are due, you'll know when all the journals are due, you'll know when the midterm exam is due, when it opens, you'll know when the Module 1 quiz is due, you'll know when everything is due in this class. You'll even know what sections you need to cover during the week. So it's printed on a Thursday, but that means during this whole week, you need to be looking at these sections. During this whole week, you need to be practicing on those sections. And basically, this homework will cover all of those sections. This homework covers all of those sections. Homework 3 is going to cover the sections from 2.5 to 2.7. Homework 4 is going to cover the sections from 3.1 all the way to 3.8. You get the idea. Moves all the way through, all the way up until the final exam being due on 5/11. Final exam opens up on 5/7, so you can do it as early as May 7th. Now, it's true that the class ends on 5/13, but I have to have all the final exams into me by 5/11 so that I can have all the videos processed and everything graded before 5/13 when things have to be turned in. That also allows time for you to see what grades are so that you can see if you need to fix anything before things get turned in officially. Because you know, graduation is then. Things need to be official. So that gives you a little bit of leeway time too. Plus, everybody likes to finish some classes earlier than others, so it helps them in their planning for other classes. So that's the way our calendar will go. Going back to the modules, you have the policies and statements. That's the same policies and statements for every FTCC class. You have the Canvas resources for students. That's basically getting around in Canvas. And then you have the course entry quiz. You should have already completed your course entry quiz. If you have not, you need to go ahead and do that. Student resources. This is something that you cannot see until you have completed your course entry quiz. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. It is the formula sheet. You will be able to use this formula sheet on every midterm, on every final. Also, you'll be able to use it any other time during the class that you want to. All you have to do is print it out and it'll be there for you. I'll teach you how to use it in videos, but this is what it looks like. It's just one page. It's all you'll need. Everything else that you need in this class, we will give to you while you're taking the class. Okay? So that's the formula sheet. The Hawks Lessons video link we'll talk about a little bit later. The tutoring aids we'll talk about a little bit later. NetTutor is a online tutoring system you can go to, and there's an online calculator that you can use while you're using this class. However, the online calculator is only available for this class. So once you're outside of Canvas, you can't use it. So when you're in Respondus, you don't get the online calculator. I would suggest you go ahead and purchase the calculator that's in this syllabus. So when you go and you look at the syllabus, you can see, it'll pop up in a second. You can see that there is a calculator here. This is the calculator that I'm going to use in the videos. When I do a video and I show you how to do things in a calculator, this is the calculator that I'm going to use. That's the calculator I would suggest that you use. Some people have the old calculator. That's this one. If you end up with the old calculator, that one right there, ta-da! If you end up with the old calculator, email me and let me know. Say, Miss Rogers, I'm sorry, Miss Summerlin, I have the old calculator. Still married less than 5 years. Sorry. I have the old calculator and I kind of need directions for it too. And I'll try to remember to always do the directions for the old calculator as well. They're slightly different from the new calculator, but you can get around with the old calculator. If you end up with a graphing calculator, kind of like this one, ta-da, then you need to let me know that as well. Some people end up with that. That has different directions as well. So I need to know what kind of directions I need to give in the videos because they'll all have different directions. I don't want to pop out directions all the time. So please let me know if you have a different kind of calculator so I can let you know what kind of calculator information you need. Okay, back to the syllabus really quick. Some people ask questions about what book we need. So this is the book, and I realize the syllabus says there's a book code bundle. The deal with that is there are only a couple of bundles left at the bookstore, and the bundles are really supposed to be bought by our face-to-face students because they have to have the workbook, but the online students don't have to have the workbook. In the videos, I'm using the workbook. That's true. I'll use the workbook in the videos because it's already written and it's something I can go through quickly. It gives me examples that I can use quickly and I can write down stuff quickly. However, when you're doing stuff, you can go ahead and just write down that problem. You don't have to have the workbook there. So there's no need for you to purchase a workbook unless you just want to have the workbook. So there are some people who feel the need to have that hard copy, and a workbook is about as good of a hard copy as you're going to get. It's better of a hard copy than the actual book. I will say that. Buying the actual book as a hard copy is not nearly as satisfying as you want it to be because it ends up being really thick and it ends up being a bunch of pages and it is not nearly as satisfying. It's not like a hardback book, which is what everybody really wants. It's a paperback book, and sometimes they'll send it to you in a 3-hole punch deal, and they don't even send you it's just that it's been 3-hole punched. They don't even send you the notebook to keep it in. So honestly, I would just, if you really want something tangible, you can get the workbook, but you don't have to have the workbook. Because we are in the process of filling in gaps. That's the whole point of this, is to fill in gaps. Because we're in the process of filling in gaps, most of the stuff that we go through in the workbook is stuff that you really already know. And if that's the case, then you probably wouldn't be writing down a lot of it. Some of the stuff you'll be writing down, and that's stuff you really do need to actually write down. But the stuff that you really need, and you'll know if you need it, because you'll be like, oh, fractions are the horrible thing to me, and I've never been good at fractions, and I missed it when I was in high school, and I missed it when I was in middle school, and in elementary school they were just bad, and I always got marked down for them, or I can never round, and I don't understand decimals, and you know what it is. So if that's the case, then you'll know when we get there, and you'll know to just write stuff down. Or if I start doing problems and you're like, I don't know where she got that from, then you'll know to rewind and start writing stuff down. But if we're doing stuff like adding and subtracting numbers, and you're like, why are we doing that? I don't need a workbook for this. Or you already understand rounding and you're like, I don't need to write this down. I don't why did I get this book? Don't get angry at me. Don't get angry at me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In these days and ages when, money might be tight, this is my suggestion to you. At least hold off for a few videos and see if you think you really need it before you go and you purchase it. That's my suggestion to you. Okay, so that's my suggestion to you. Back to the modules. Okay. They have some study aids in here about how to study math, and websites with videos and websites without videos, and other workshops, etc., that you can go and visit on your own. And then they have the Module 1 Introduction. When you get to Module 1, it will say all the things that you need to do. There is a complete list, Module 1 assignment summary, of all the things that you need to do in Module 1. Nowhere in this list does it say anything about watching a video. Nowhere in this list does it say anything about watching a video. That's because you don't have to watch the videos. There are no videos that you have to watch. None. No videos that you have to watch. However, you will have to do your homework. Your homework is located in the Hawks Learning sections. That's over here on the left-hand side. See, Hawks Learning? That's over there. Complete homeworks. So review over sections. You can do that on your own, where you review over them. You can use the workbook and videos if you want. However you want to review is up to you. However you want to review. If you choose not to review, that is up to you. But you've got to complete the homework in the section. There are some people who go and say, you know what? I can see that these sections, you go, you look, you see the sections are simply adding and subtracting. You think, I got this. Let me go ahead and do the homework. You go in there, you try the homework. You do phenomenal on the homework. Everything's great. Go to the next one and you're like, I can do this. And you try the homework and it is horrible. And you think, oh my gosh, I have got to go check out some of this stuff. So there are videos. There are videos on all this. There will be. Currently, you see no videos down here. There aren't any videos yet. I will be building them over this semester. That's my goal for this semester, is to build some videos in here. So I will be building videos for 025. They will go down here. You don't have to watch the videos. Some people don't need the videos. But if you need videos, they will be down there. The videos will go over these sections. They will not go over them like the book, because I'm going to tell you now, this book believes in doing everything the long way. It believes that if you are going to do fractions, you have to write everything out the long way, just like you did when you were in elementary school. That is not how I do fractions, because I guarantee you right now, I do fractions on the calculator. I am a calculator girl. I do everything as quickly as I can, as fast as I can, as accurate as I can on the calculator. I'm going to teach you how to do it on the calculator because I need you to do it as quickly as you can, as fast as you can, so we can go ahead and get through this mess. I am not up for you staying around in here trying to figure out how to do it old school way. So that's the plan. And so I'm not going to teach it the way they teach it. So just letting you know now. That's why there have to be videos. The videos can go a little bit faster, a little bit more honest, and tell you the way things are and how we're going to do it in the 20th century now. So that we can bring you up to speed and move things on along and get you to where you need to be so we can get you into your next class, because that's the point, get you to the next class. So we're going to go ahead and handle that. And the videos hopefully are going to be relatively short, but I do still have to get some information in there. So we're going to go through the workbook as quickly as we can, show you how to use the calculators as quickly as we can. That way, if you need to rewind to learn more about the calculators, you can. If you need to email me, figure out about the calculators, you can. I try to put as much information as I can in the videos, but they will be down there. You do not have to look at them. They are there to help you if you need it. So if it's something you don't understand, definitely go watch the videos. That is like an extra learn. What do I mean by an extra learn? I'm glad you asked. So you see how it says Hawk's Learning for all of these? Well, let me show you. Hawk's Learning is the third thing over here on the left-hand side. That you've clicked on already to go ahead and activate your Hawk's Learning. That Hawk's Learning is where you'll do your homework. It is not where you do all of your work, because like it shows here, there's a journal. There's a journal for every single module. There's a quiz or an exam for every single module. Don't be fooled. You have other stuff to do in here besides just homework. I promise. But Hawk's Learning is where you're going to get most of your homework. So when you click on Hawk's Learning, it's going to pull up something that looks kind of like this. When it pulls it up and it looks kind of like this, you're going to see a to-do list. This is your to-do list. Ta-da! Goes all the way through, lists off a bunch of stuff. You have something due on January 16th, so you're going to have to get on it. It's section 1.1 through 1.7. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but if I click on this, it's going to come up and look like this. There's a learn, there's a practice, and there's a certify. So I could go to this learn, but when I go to this learn, it's only going to be section 1.7. And this whole thing is supposed to be from 1.1 all the way to 1.7, not just 1.7. Because this certify has something like 63 questions in it. There's a ton of questions. Holy cow, there's a lot of questions in there. This practice is only the practice for 1.7. It is not the practice for the certify, because the certify has like 63 questions in it. So if I want to go back and know what's in all of this stuff, I'm going to have to really go back. So I'm going to go back and look, and where it says lessons, it says 9. There are only 9 lessons. Oh, there are 9 assigned lessons. If I click on all, then I can see all the lessons. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. These are not assigned. But you know what? All of these, look at 1.3. It has a learn, a practice, and a certify. Here's the thing, it's not assigned, but it's still here. So that means I could do the learn and read all about it. I could do the practice and get all sorts of help. I could do the certify, know that I know what I'm talking about. But that certify is going to look like it gives me a grade. In Hawks, it's going to look like it gives me a grade. But that grade is not going to go over to Canvas. That grade isn't going to count for anything because that grade was not assigned to me. The only one that was assigned to me was 1.7. So I can look at all of these. I can get all the information from all of these. I can get all sorts of information from there. They are all available to me. Just like all those videos that I'm going to make are going to be available to you. But you don't have to look at them, just like you don't have to look at these. They are there for you if you need them. They are there for you if you want them. But this one you have to do. It is the one that is due. You have to do it by January 16th. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. That one is the one that is due. Now, how are you going to know if you're really prepared for it? Well, you're probably not going to know until you try it. If you try it, you find out that you're not prepared for it, you don't do well on it, you might want to back out of it because you have some time. You might want to back out of it and say, wait a minute, let me try to see if the videos will help. I would go to my videos first because they're supposed to be a little bit faster, a little bit more targeted to you. Go to my videos first, see if they help. Then come back, see if that filled in the blanks a little bit. Then, if not, you can go to some of the practices in these. I don't think I'd go to the certifying those. I think that's kind of wasting your time. But you can go to the practices in those and see if that helps. You have all of these to do. It's not very many for the whole semester, but they are in there. Oh my. It changed my dates. Okay, I just noticed. I will have to go back and fix that. I don't think that's due on January 16th. I will have to go back and fix that. It is for my 8-week class. It is not for my 16-week class. These are my 16-week dates. I just noticed. Okay, that's all right. I know how to fix it. I think. We'll see. Okay. We shall see. Um, So that's that. I think I have explained to you everything that you need. You'll take the Module 1 quiz. The date for that was set in the calendar. Go back to modules. After Module 1 is the preparing for proctoring. The dates need to be reset in that, but it tells you how to decide if you're going to be on campus or if you're going to use the Respondus Lockdown browser. And then you can go into Module 2. Then after that's the midterm, Module 3 and Module 4, and then after that's the final. And then you have your grades. And that's it. I think that should be it. So, yeah. Email me if you have a question. I'm sure you should have tons now. It's good seeing you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.